Okay guys, like I said before, I was in my classroom. I'm still in there because this is where I'm going to get our project ready. So you need to grab crayons. You guys know these boxes. You need to grab a dark colored crayon. So the darker the color, the better this works for this project. And I'm going to grab a dark blue color. And you want a crayon that does not have a crayon wrapper on it anymore. And the reason you want a crayon without a crayon wrapper is because we're going to do some texture rubbing. And I bet you're thinking, what is that? Well, it's a pretty simple way to get any texture. So you're going to need a plain piece of paper. I'm just grabbing copy paper because that's what I have out, but any paper will work. You grab my classroom keys because we all know Miss Ottenreith likes to lock herself out of places. You've all witnessed it. So, see, I am in my classroom. We're going to go outside. Now, school is pretty much the same, guys. Except for they clean the floor right here. All right, so we're gonna go outside the building. And we're gonna look for different textures. Okay, so we actually have some textures right here. The concrete and the wall. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set up my camera so that you can see what I am about to do. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take one section of my paper and I'm going to make that into the concrete ground rubbing. But I just remembered that we should probably fold our paper. Let's do that. So I'm going to fold my paper in half twice. So in half this way, so that's hamburger, because it looks like a book. And then we fold it again. Doing this one-handed. All right, and then when we unfold it, we will have 4 different sections of our paper. Okay, so what you do, you take your crayon and you put it on your paper. Now here gets the tricky part. Miss Ottenreith has to get creative on how she's going to do this. All right. Ah! Wind! All right. So I'm going to use my foot to hold my paper in place. Don't judge me for this. So what you do is you hold your crayon sideways and you press the side of your crayon onto your paper. Okay? Sideways. You see how that's the same size as a crayon. You can go over it a couple times. And that's going to give you, and you can see the crayon now has a flatter side to it. And you can see there's ridges where I used the whole crayon and I went, it's kind of hard to see. I guess I could do it this way. And I just went like this. Okay, now that's one section. And so again, sideways crayon, press down. Oops, I got a little on the wall. Sorry, Miss Thomas. Okay, so I want you to look at that. Sorry about that. Do not get things on your walls. All right, so if you look at it, look at our 2 textures that we've made so far. Look at those 2 textures. They look very similar because, well, they're both made out of the same material. Well, let's look around and see. Oh, we're gonna go to playground. Okay guys, familiar piece of equipment. It is the rock climbing wall on our playground. And I'm gonna do the same thing I did before. Maybe. Okay. I have my paper. Do the same thing. Okay, so I just did my rubbing using both of my hands, so I did not get marks on the playground equipment like I did the wall over there. You can see that that has a different texture than those 2. Even though these 2 are similar, they are different. And the last texture I'm going to get, I'm actually going to go up the playground. And I'm going to come up here to this space, which you can see the pigeons have enjoyed. All right, so I'm going to come up here to this right here where the holes are. And I'm going to do this. And this is really cool. Because where there are the holes, look at that. Where there's the holes, it's going to have those. So let me pause this and I'll show you what it looks like. And that is what it looks like. So we've got 4 different textures. And that is all you have to do for me this week, guys. And I'll post this as part of our assignment. Pretty cool, huh? Whew, it's warm outside. My water glass is over there. Okay, woo! It's hot out there, guys. Okay, so if you do go outside, be careful with the heat. Make sure you drink lots of water. But here is my texture rubbing. Isn't that neat? Look at that. That's cool. Now, you don't have to go outside if you don't want to. If you look on the bottom of shoes, look on the bottom of mine, they have textures on them. So each shoe, it will have a different texture on the bottom of them. Unless they're all the same kind. So, like all of the Crocs pretty much have the same bottom. But Converse has a waffle print. Nike usually has some kind of special grip print for basketball shoes. Same thing with a lot of athletic shoes. So look around you, see what you can use as a texture rubbing, but make sure, one, you're paying attention to what you're doing. If you use 2 hands, it's a lot easier to not get markings places where they're not supposed to. Try to find more than one area and see what texture comes up. So if we look at 3 of my textures, this was the ground. This is the sidewalk right outside the door. This is the wall. And then this is the plastic equipment. Those are pretty similar, even though they're similar. I mean, these two are both made out of concrete, so they're gonna have similar textures, even though you can see there's quite a bit of difference between the 2 of them. But this one was plastic and it has a similar texture. That's cool. And then this one, of course, is my favorite one because it has all these little holes in it. So that's one way to do it, is to either use things around your house and try to find 4 different textures. Now, if you don't have crayons, you can use chalk. It just is messier. You have to use a crayon or chalk. Oil pastels if you have them, but it has to be something like this. This works best. Crayons work best. If you don't have crayons, I'm giving you an alternative way to do it using the internet. And I have that explained in a different video. So do this one. If you can't do this one, go to the alternative assignment page. Okay? All right. Love you guys. Bye.